game so far in the NALCS, and you called it.
Oh,
it is
baby.
banned away.
There we go. That'll be the one prediction I get right all
Captain
year. But
Flowers, the new coach.
Ornn banned away. Team Liquid deciding that they're going to force FlyQuest to show something new.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, every one of their wins has come on it. They're 3-0 with Ornn. The only other pick was a Braum, which they did lose with, so certainly has been critical to their success. Looking like Aatrox or Urgot will get through, which generally means both will get through, as teams usually opt into a trade in that regard. Really excited to see if we're going to continue the craziness that Game 1 started us off with. Are we going to see more of this no-farm top lane style? Are we going to see more of these crazy flex picks? Jace being moved to jungle, Aatrox being moved to jungle. And Jace is actually the ban.
Jace taken off the table. Means FlyQuest now has plenty of those S-tier picks to choose from. Hovering over the Gangplank seems very unlikely. So yeah, the Urgot, not surprised at all to see that one.
Yep, and usually you do get the trade when Urgot does go over. But we did see last game, obviously, both ended up on one side. This game, it is going to be the Aatrox flex, going to be going to Impact for Jensen. We have seen it come out for TL already this season. It was played by Jensen in that game.
And not Afro Move. I was thinking Afro Move from last game because he's the one who picked the Alistar last game.
The cows don't move. There's association, I get it.
Well, the Alistar is picked up for Core JJ, who has honestly been a pretty big playmaker so far for Team Liquid. This guy has been having some very impressive performances so far, and Alistar is one of those champions that you can really stand out and shine, even on a role like support that traditionally doesn't have those highlight reel moments as much as other roles might.
Yeah, definitely not, especially if you are playing the Enchanter kind of supports that sit back and shield and heal and do all that. But this is an engaged support. You definitely can get the highlights on the Alistar.
Don't get excited, audience. It's a bait.
Or is it?
It's a bait.
I think it's probably a bait, yeah. All right, Kaisa.
I tried to warn you.
He did. He was looking out for you. I know. It's an emotional roller coaster here in Pickman at the LCS. It's hard to know. You just can't trust people these days.
Hope plays a wicked game with the mind. Team Liquid baiting the fans in, but they lock in the Kaisa for themselves. Kaisa and Alistar going up against the Xayah Rakan, the lovers duo in the bottom lane for FlyQuest. And I like the Rakan once the Ornn is banned out because that's still engaged potential.
Definitely is. And I think that they should have priority in that bottom lane 2v2. We'll see how successful FlyQuest is going to be able to do with that. This bottom lane for FlyQuest has looked very good. They were getting 2v2 kills against TSM, against Ven and Smoothie, really finding a lot of success and kind of coming into their own. It feels like so far this split, but Doublelift and Core JJ have certainly been the duo to beat. They are standing alone at the top of the hill right now. FlyQuest looking to knock them down at least a couple pegs.
Going into the second part of the bans here, Team Liquid decides they want to take some potential early jungle pressure off the table, getting rid of the Olaf. Well, FlyQuest says, you know what? I'm not a fan of popsicles or 7.5 seconds of Naya invulnerability. Let's get rid of Lissandra.
Yeah, and especially when you are playing these champions that want to be able to move around, that want to be able to get in there. Lissandra can be very, very effective against someone like the Rakan, who just gets ulted when he tries to dive in. Can get popped very, very quickly. Taking away Galio, I think, is a smart move, as Pobelter has used that champion to great effect, picking up a player of the game with some incredible flanks on it back in week 1. And I think that so far, there's intelligent moves being made in the picks and bans on both sides. Smithy considering a Lee Sin, which would be as expected. He's already played it 4 out of 4 times. So far, the split has yet to stray from the Blind Monk. But this time, okay, all right. Gragas.
The switch up is happening. Still plenty of playmaking potential on that Gragas pick.
There is a small chance that this is something like a Gragas top and the Aatrox mid, and we could still get a jungle pick last, but certainly are expecting it to be Gragas coming out of the jungle here for Team Liquid.
FlyQuest, do they use the Nunu? We've been seeing a little bit of this champion recently, and it looks like we'll see a little bit more here today. The snowballs, this champion is just so iconic. I mean, the Disco Nunu was the original feeding champion, and he sort of built this bad reputation for himself of when when people see him, they automatically think of feeding just because of the bad solo queue reputation. And now he has an ability that, well, as you just said, can roll it down. But I've also seen this champion pop off. If Nunu gets ahead, he is nigh unkillable. He creates massive zones of control in team fights through the use of his ultimate as well as his snowball fight and giant snowball abilities. The champ can be scary if played well and if he gets off to a good start. Final pick for FlyQuest will be LeBlanc for Pobelt.
And part of that frustrating tankiness really is the self-healing that he has from his Q. Every time you're chomping down, you can heal for a tremendous amount, and it is very difficult to take this guy out. He's also one of the teamfight tanks that I think has some of the most effective early ganks thanks to that snowball. So strong clear, still has the incredible objective securing that the old Nunu had with the Chomp Smite. So really a lot of power in this kit. Excited to see how effective Santorin can look on it. As Santorin, I think, has been having a really strong season.
And for people who aren't super familiar with playing as or against or with the new Nunu, one of the most surprising elements of the kit is the fact that he can turn so sharply with the snowball. The only other ability in the game similar to it is the Scion ulti, which has a very unforgiving turn ability. It practically can't turn at all. Yeah, very long time to adjust it. But the Nunu snowball actually is much more responsive. It's very easy to curve around corners and chase after people with that. We'll see if Santorin is able to dial those in this game. Remember, Team Liquid, the only team to make it out of the first 2 weeks undefeated. FlyQuest, the only team to suffer a single loss. If they take Liquid down here, they will be tied for possession of first place. But if Liquid wins this one, then that means they are at least 2 games away from any competitor.
Pobelter, you know he wants to beat his old team. You know he wants to prove that they made a mistake, but he is going to be in tough against Jensen, who has been crushing it this year and also got counterpick. And he's facing Jensen on the Syndra, who has 29 plays and a nearly 80% win rate in competitive on the champion. He got counterpick, chose the matchup, but if Pobelter could make it work regardless, that is definitely a statement.
Looking at the map here as we start off, pings coming out from both sides, line of scrimmage being drawn, fans in the audience getting their cheer on, as we'll see which one of these two teams can ultimately emerge victorious. Infernal Drake will be the first neutral objective on the map this game, which means it could be bloodier than otherwise expected. I know I love to see that. We'll see which one of the junglers decides to focus towards that, if any, as both of these guys do have some solid early ganking potential.
And if I had to take a guess, it's going to be the Nunu, right? Nunu can very easily solo out that dragon as level 1. Double lifting a lot of damage already.
Double lift down to about 300 HP. Pobelter doesn't want to get anywhere closer to that. He realizes there's no real kill potential.
Yeah, and that is actually so late that he's not going to have time to recall. So they're going to try to continually zone him out. This is Double starting lane without a potion, and he's going to be, even after that potion heals him up, still not full health. So that is a significant advantage when you already have a losing lane. Being down that potion should allow FlyQuest 2v2 to really take control there, because any poke is going to stick that much longer.
And as you said in Champion Select, Turtle and JJ are a bottom lane that's been playing together for a while now, and they've found solo kills, or should I say 2v2 kills, against prominent other bot lanes, against Sven and Smoothie, against these names that people know and recognize as talented bottom laners. They're able to stand and just go blow for blow with them.
Exactly, and you called out the Infernal Dragon. Nunu's great at soloing that out. Bot lane pressure allows you to get access to that dragon that much more easily, so things starting off on the right foot, certainly for FlyQuest, but so the very, very early stages, they are clearly small edges.
This game going to seem a little bit more normal than what we saw last time around. You don't have any super unconventional jungle picks. You don't have any crazy no farm top lane strategy. Very, very standard stuff in the top lane. The biggest surprise pick, I guess you would say, would be the Nunu, which isn't that much of a surprise. We had already seen it played earlier this season in the LCS. Didn't have a great effect at that point, but like I say, maybe Santorin's got this figured out.
And it's also a pick that has one of the highest win rates, if not the highest win rate in solo queue. That in combination with the fact that the jungle XP changes came through, Nunu is a champion that is less reliant on levels than many others. So, a lot of things kind of working to push Nunu, I think, to the forefront. And a lot of competitive junglers really do believe that it's working to push tanks in general to the forefront in the jungle role.
Right.
Because they simply function better with less experience and with less gold.
Less experience, lower economy. As if your job is to go in there and not get killed, it takes less money to do that than to go in there and kill the enemy team. Yeah. That's just a fact of League of Legends. If it was cheaper to build damage, the entire thing would just be a giant damage volcano fiesta, and nothing would ever get done except everyone's screen constantly being black and white. Bottom side, Xmithy looking to send these guys back to the spawn platform the hard way as the damage come in. Chain CC goes out. Turtle getting himself away. Has to pop the flash to do it as he's going to return some damage down onto the enemy support here as well. And honestly, when you look at bottom lane health bars, that's a pretty even trade.
Yeah, honestly, really well handled there, as you say, by FlyQuest. It is flash for flash as far as Core JJ versus Turtle, so you can give the TL the favor there, but it was also the Ignite blown. It's Smithy spending his time going down there, so certainly FlyQuest going to be feeling fairly happy about it, but it does relieve some of the pressure that would have been created through that potion disadvantage and through the 2v2 matchup.
And let's talk Turtle here for a second, because this guy built himself a reputation for being known as one of the most aggro AD carry players in the game. Flash forward became something that would be commonly used to refer to Turtle, as he always wanted to go in and make these really big aggressive plays. And he's even talked about how, all right, he's learned that tempering himself in laning phase is the better way to go about doing things now. He's going to still go for those big plays later on when he's got the economy and he's so fed that he can pull that off and one-shot somebody. But a more conservative style is how he feels League of Legends should be played in the early game.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, he's right. There's going to be the place and the time where you could go for it, as Santorin is starting to roll it down.
Oh, the biggest snowball ever! Here it comes. Core JJ's in some trouble. Cooking up the burgers for Turtle, and that's first blood over to FlyQuest.
Just a fantastic lane gank there from Santorin. They know there's no flash on Core JJ, so JJ flashes in and catches him. The snowball follow-up is there, and first blood goes straight over to Turtle.
Feels good for FlyQuest. They recognize the fact that their opponent is vulnerable at this point, and here they go.
And look at that. So that is kind of making use of the fact people talk about the slow engage coming out of Rakan. It's actually faster if you're right up on top of your enemy than it was previously. Oh, as Jensen has no mana, so he's got to back out. But so what he did was he actually flashed point blank and then used the W, so there was even less reaction time. So I think this is really smart stuff from JJ, and that made it an easy follow-up and an easy kill.
Good stuff for FlyQuest. As mid lane, you're going to see Santorin show up, just sort of relieve some of that pressure that was coming out from Jensen. They recognize that Jensen has to back as well because he's completely out of mana, so they just want to equalize that lane, make sure that Pobelter isn't losing anything when he goes back and shops. Little solo Q tip for people there who's wondering, why does my jungler not do anything useful? Well, sometimes usefulness isn't just kills.
Warding, getting objectives, doing all that can be very, very nice. But Core JJ was able to actually do a good job and hold that wave for a bit. So you can see the wave stacked up quite a lot, which is going to be more gold in the pocket of Doublelift. And also an easier attempted gank as Smithy is looking to go in with those Predator boots.
He's got Predator, he's got Flash, and he knows Turtle does
nice
not have that summoner spell any longer. Turtle will be thrown under the bus here. Chain CC coming out. JJ knows there's no way to save him, so you can't stick around. That's Team Liquid doing a good job returning the favor for earlier.
Yeah, that was definitely very nice. The tiny, tiny thing that FlyQuest does get out of that at the very least is that Doublelift had to lose some minions to the turret while he was moving forward for that, so CS stays relatively even. They both have a kill, but it is a well-executed gank. You know, really kind of premeditated and helped to be set up there by Core JJ, who did hold the wave and build that freeze, and they have to come up and push that in, makes them vulnerable to the game.
Yep, just like I said, sometimes it's not just the jungler's job to show up and kill dudes. Sometimes it's your job to facilitate your jungler showing up and killing dudes. Once the team works together as a whole, great things happen. Let's take another look at how they did it.
Yep, so here they come. The Predator boots are popped. Turtle has no flash from earlier, so really no way for him to get out. The only hope would perhaps have been JJ tries to suicide forward, and I think you can make the argument that you just try to grand entrance forward onto Smithy and give up your life, and maybe your AD gets out. But maybe you both go down, so it's a tough argument to make.
Right, considering Smithy still had his own flash up, it's very,
he could have flashed over, and then they both die.
Smithy goes over the wall there,
snowball.
the blast cone. Santorin just sort of lets the snowball fizzle. Core JJ with the hex flash over the wall.
Yeah, that was definitely not the biggest snowball ever.
No, that was, they're not even going to cancel school for that one. All right, whatever. Pobelter's farming up here in the mid lane on the LeBlanc versus this Syndra. You already talked about Jensen's insane win rate in professional play on Syndra. Pobelter paying a lot of respect to that, hard rushing the Mercury Treads.
Yep, going to be grabbing those early Merc Treads, as you say. Trying to avoid being locked down, because so much of this matchup, people do really look at this as a skill matchup oftentimes, and it's very reliant on dodging out from the opponent's skills, right? So LeBlanc has to be able to dodge the scatter of the weak, additional move speed and C is going to help there, and also if you do get tagged, that stun is going to break more quickly, so you can actually distortion out of the follow-up damage that would have been coming through. So certainly, I think an intelligent buy, and playing it very even so far in these early stages.
But one thing that we talk about with Team Liquid, compared to many, if not all of the other teams in the LCS right now, is the fact that this team seems to, for lack of better words, do more. They seem more proactive. They seem like once they get a lead, they make more things happen with it. They want to close the game out more quickly. There is much more decisive play happening from this squad. So you can see them off to a slight gold lead so far, and if they continue to build that, I'm just wondering how explosive this mid game is going to be.
And I always think that one of the most demoralizing things to play against is when everything feels like it's going right? You try to go for your gank, you get that kill. You go for the dragon, you grabbed it. You siege the turret, you take it, but you're still losing. And that's how it often feels when you're playing against Team Liquid, because as you say, sweet, you got the kill bot side, but they got 2 on top. You got the turret on the bot side, they got 1 in mid lane and then push for a second, right? They always seem to be able to fight for NM.
Impact trying to get himself away here. Viper did manage to land the ulti down onto Impact. However, the World Ender comes out, and that means Viper has to get himself out. Ult exchanged for ult here. Impact's going to be the one who's better off at the end of the trade. Viper low on health, very low on mana, no TP available to use. Means this lane is going to be rather uncomfortable for him, already down almost 20 CS.
Yeah, really good job here by Impact, who is someone who is often criticized for his carry play, for his laning phase. You know, he's known as being such a fantastic team player, team fighter, plays the map incredibly well, and showing that he can dominate in lane as well.
Smithy and Core JJ clearing out some vision here from the river. 10 minutes into the game, this first Infernal Drake. I already commented on how this will probably be important. Team Liquid wants to make sure that FlyQuest is blind to it, if at all possible.
And I think TL should be forcing this, right? You have TP advantage on the top side, so they're going to have the extra man joining the play.
Bring them on down.
If they actually do start this up. So we'll see if they do pull the trigger. They're going to want to try to push out these waves very likely first. But you can see Smithy and Jensen moving down towards that bottom side, potentially going for the dragon.
And let's go ahead and check in with what we talked about at the very start of this game when we saw Double Lift lose a bunch of his health early on, walk into lane in what, as you said, a losing lane matchup with no potion and an injured health bar. The man's currently 20 CS up with identical items to his counterpart. He is doing just fine. Team Liquid had a wonderful recovery there in bottom lane, and now they've got that green.
And it's well played by Doublelift, but also credit to Smithy, right? He got the early gank that forced the flash out of Turtle. They came back down again, killed them when they were pushed up under the turret. So they've done a really good job of facilitating Doublelift, putting him in a place where FlyQuest can't play as aggressive when they're down a flash, and where they are being punished anytime they do push up. So this is just a team play that led to that advantage for one person.
A lot of damage coming down onto Pobelter there. You can see Jensen using both the Ignite and the ulti. Takes Pobe very low. Core JJ making the roam now. I was about to say, I'm waiting to see when he decides to roam, because he did go for the very early Moby Boots as opposed to something that would actually help him more in lane, like the refillable potion plus evolve support item that you see on JJ. So Core JJ wants to get these roams down. Where do they come in, though?
Yeah, that was actually a really nice little thing. Even just him roaming up there, yes, he didn't get a kill or anything like that, but he did stop the recall from Pobelter, because Pobelter is very low and he knows that Flash Ignite is on Alistar, so if you get comboed there, you likely die. So he had to actually stop his recall, go back, which is going to delay him a bit more, and then he's going to miss out on that last wave of minions that could have crashed.
It's the little things that pile up and add to the advantages that you find for yourself. And when we look at advantages, it's CS advantages across the board for Team Liquid. That's why when this game is tied in kills, they're 1,000 gold ahead of their opponent.
And you have to add in the Infernal, which is going to be worth more and more the further you get in. You look at the completed items now. Stormrazor is already done for Doublelift. You see that the Ludens is fully completed for Jensen. And 3 members show up. It is time to cash in on some plates.
It is turret plating day as the Demolish charges up onto the turret. First plate will go down. Pobelter finds a little bit of damage there onto Jensen as Team Liquid decides, all right, they were able to stop the turret plating big play, but let's go ahead and look for Shelly if we can. Backing away from that one now, recognizing that FlyQuest is heading towards them, clearing out some wards along the way. Team Liquid not willing to over-index on something that seems too risky.
Yeah, when everyone is around like that, it takes so long to actually knock down the Rift Herald early on, and Belter's going in. There goes Viper.
A lot of damage down onto Jensen there, and there's your ulti. Bring him into the grinder, and Viper finds a kill for FlyQuest. TP comes in from Impact, but he quickly finds himself in the middle of multiple people. World Ender is ended prematurely. The Resurrection will keep Impact alive, but now that he does not have that big ultimate, that's another tool that Team Liquid has to respect themselves not having, as FlyQuest recognizes and says, yeah, go for Shelly.
Yeah, they can start this right up, no problem. And Nunu is not going to take any damage doing this whatsoever, has so much sustain. Really well played there from Viper and Pobelter, comboing to take down Jensen, holding the ultimate on Urgot till after Jensen flashed. All these little things really paying off and getting them that kill.
Smithy wanting to steal this red buff away, as Viper says, what are you doing? That's my red buff. Get out of here. He's going to be knocked backwards with the cask. Impact rotating over just to make sure his jungler doesn't get in too much trouble. Smithy, good job there, stealing that buff away, recognizing, hey, that's not a jungler I'm stealing it from. This fight is free. Let's take another look at the Jensen kill.
Yeah, here it is one more time. Viper is around. The chains are landed. Jensen flashes, but he still gets rooted, and Viper held the ult to rip him up afterwards. Then force out the ultimate there from Impact. So really good stuff from FlyQuest. But as you say, despite the fact that they're making perhaps the better plays, it is TL out-farming them. And this is kind of what people point to when they just talk about TL having stronger individual players than other teams, having that laning skill that just pays so much now, especially in this turret plating world.
20 CS, top 15 in mid and bottom, pretty much even in jungle, and we don't count support. So very nice leads coming out here for Team Liquid. Next Drake is Infernal numbered. It is a day of Infernals.
It is.
Zale. Infernal number 2 spawning here in 60 seconds. We'll likely see the teams head over towards the river, try to contain that with vision.
Had 3 straight in the last game and back-to-back in this one.
Yeah.
See if we can go for the clean triple.
This is still a very close game, though, in terms of overall gold, so I wouldn't expect FlyQuest to just give over this Infernal, let Team Liquid have it. We'll see how hard both squads want to fight for that here soon, as Pobelter will shove up the wave in mid lane. Jensen moving back over to answer that here rather quickly. Does have the blue buff on both mid laners, so very easy to just spam push these waves.
And you'll note that both teams set their bottom lane back towards the side that the Dragon is on, right? They're back to the bottom lane. Top laners are back up top, and it is TP advantage for FlyQuest because Impact TP'd in to try to save Pobelter on that mid lane play. So this time, it should be FlyQuest that has priority. They should be the ones trying to force this Dragon. And as a result, you see Impact, he's just running down. He knows he doesn't have the TP, so he's not going to wait.
Choice.
But this does kind of put it a little bit more into FlyQuest's hands, as they have the option to try to stay up top and delay down by the Dragon, or force a play themselves. And it is Impact having to pull out and go back up to the top side for now.
Santorin takes a little bit of damage there from the cask of Smithy, but he just wants to clear away some of this vision. FlyQuest continuing to move forward. The battle for vision between these two squads. You can also see the turret plates there. 3 for Team Liquid, 1 for FlyQuest. That's 1 extra kill's worth of gold for Team Liquid to continue to pile onto that lead that they have, as Infernal Drake will be started up.
So now FlyQuest, they either have to TP down their Urgot, or they have to just give this up. And at the very least, TL wants to get that TP, and here it comes.
It's going to be a fight. Infernal taken down to about 2K. Santorin rolling in a snowball. Core JJ there on the front line. FlyQuest decide, all right, just turn and burn the Drake. That's all we came here for anyway. Pobelter finding a little bit of damage. Down onto Impact at the very exit of the fight. Will not get the second part of the chain. Rift Herald summoned up in the bottom lane as well. FlyQuest are saying Team Liquid all rotated up to the northern part of the river. Just drop Shelly bottom and take the turret.
This is great stuff from FlyQuest. They pushed out the top lane first, and now they're going in onto Jensen, but he will have to back off. So they deny minions on the top side, as Impact had to roam down first, being without the TP. They TP down, they get that Dragon. They take the bottom turret. So first turret gold for them, really closing that gap quite a lot. They're even on Dragons. This is a tight game between the top 2 teams in the league.
Yeah, FlyQuest is looking very solid so far. This team, they've got the macro, like you said. They've shown that they can win in micro situations as well. But the question is always, can you stand up to Team Liquid? Can you take down the big boss? And so far, it's a very even contest between the two sides. Unfortunately, Azale, we will not get Triple Infernal this game. At least not yet.
Oh, no.
Ocean is number 3. As Xmithy, he goes golden, but he's not going to get much further than that. Kill credit goes over to Pobelter, who cashes in his first of the game.
Smithy caught with his hand in the cookie jar there as Pobelter finds him on the grump with that ward. That is the worst feeling. You see the ward pop up there, you know you are in trouble, and Pobelter making him pay.
Pobelter saying, all right, you remember me, buddy? Used to be on the same side, not wearing the same jerseys anymore. As FlyQuest now has control over the map for the next 4, 3, 2 seconds or so, and they're going to use that opportunity to put a few bodies in the mid lane, put some damage onto this turret. Plates are gone, so you're not getting any extra money for it, but a nice 3-man stun comes out from Jensen, taking the FlyQuest support very low.
Yeah, drops the ultimate, and JJ gonna have to head back to base after that one. Jensen sitting on a lot of early CDR here as well. Already gonna be pretty much capped out, with the 30 an item, 10 for runes, so can be pretty liberal with the usage of that ultimate and looking to play it fairly aggressively.
Take another look here at what happened topside as Pobelter finds Xmithy.
Yeah, the only redeeming factor there for Smithy is he did get the grump, so you can call worth on that one, but Pobelter is going to walk away with the kill. Really nicely done from him, and he got the stopwatch out, so you're going to feel so good about finding that kill.
Oh yeah, when you manage to take away that item that can have such a huge impact later on in a fight just for free, it's a double win for Pobelter. FlyQuest still down about 1,000 gold here. Jensen still doing a great job farming up here in mid lane. Has that Luden's Echo, has Sorcerer's Shoes, Fiendish Codex also there. Means with blue buff, he's at 40% CDR.
Yep, and the runes as well, right? So he's already capped out there. Going to be looking pretty nice. And we can see across the board, though, these two teams very even. Viper certainly going to be going towards more of that tanky role, likely working towards.
Speaking of roll,
Age. Nope. Righteous Glory.
Not gonna roll it any further. Unlucky.
I think this is smart from Santorin. He's going second item Stone Blade as again another fight topside.
It's not a fight so much as a beating. Pobelter finding a lot of Jensen's health bar there. Jensen dropping the Ignite in return just to try to scare POB away. Pobelter doesn't seem too afraid just yet. You can see multiple members of Team Liquid also hanging around on this top side of the map. The only man on the bottom half is Impact, as Turtle and JJ will just continue pushing up here in the mid lane. Doublelift, the man to answer. Farming up these minions, clearing out the waves, protecting that tier 1 turret. Both teams seem pretty content playing this one rather slowly right now, just farming up for later. Still only about 1,000 gold between them.
Yeah, when you enter into that kind of game, you have to be extremely confident in your team fight, right? You're kind of handshaking on the idea that one team fight can decide the game. When you're getting post 20 minutes, Baron is going to be on the table. A big team fight win can mean a lot. That being said, we have seen Pobelter looking for picks, trying to find that out of vision, so we'll see if he can be a game changer there for FlyQuest and really make something happen for the team.
He'll stay in the side lane versus Jensen. He's honestly exact same farm as Jensen too, so really matching up against this player and this champion that we talked about so highly earlier, and that's a statement in itself, because remember, Team Liquid is the team where Pobelter was on this squad and was often put on more of a supportive role, playing things like the Malzahar, where his job wasn't to be the main carry, but rather to facilitate Doublelift as that carry. And now, on FlyQuest, he's able to play more carry champions himself, picking stuff like the LeBlanc being the cannon. As we're going to see Turtle go into the ultimate, immediately flashing back over the wall, keeping himself safe, but JJ is taken down. Doublelift's finding the first kill of the fight. Pobelter has to retreat, but in goes Viper. A massive fear on 2 people. They're able to find even more damage, and Doublelift is out. Viper goes into stasis, keeping himself alive. World Ender's going to be able to bring back the Aatrox, but how long will he stay alive? Turtle's in a lot of danger as the stun comes through, and Jensen makes it so Xmithy can pick him up. It's 2 for 3.
It looked like it was going to be all FlyQuest after Viper found that pick onto Doublelift, but Jensen, Smithy, and Impact stay alive in the fight and battle back, taking down multiple members of FlyQuest there, and they're going to be rewarded with the Dragon.
Liquid did a wonderful job of recognizing that they were not actually in a losing spot here and turning it around.
And here it is one more time. The initial engage denied from poor JJ as JJ had the quickness up and then diving back in, charming up multiple members. But it is JJ, the first member to drop. Then follow Viper here. He gets the ultimate onto onto JJ there and flashes the fear right in on top of Double Lift. Then hits the fling, activating all sides of the passive, bursts down that AD carry. It is a 4v3 at this point, but TL knows we have the Resurrect, we have the health bars, and they look for the turn. Knock up into Scatter the Weak, into Body Slam. Turtle CC'd 100-0, and that meant TL would get the Dragon.
Clean execution from Liquid rewards them with their second Elemental Drake of the game, puts them 2,000 gold ahead of their opponents, and just shows why this team is so scary to fans and teams alike.
Yeah, they are looking very, very good, but FlyQuest playing him pretty darn even, and that was a huge play from Viper. But you look over at Double Lift, and he has the Rage Blade now. He's sitting on that item. He's going to become so incredibly powerful in these team fights, working towards that third item, but Pobelter trying to come around the side.
Team Liquid, they're already ahead of Zale, and they're building the lead even further, picking up these structures. That is the third and final link in the outer turret chain. Taken down on the side of FlyQuest means Team Liquid is now more comfortable pushing up into enemy territory, sitting down these wards, gaining more control over the map, and trying to choke FlyQuest out. Biggest snowball ever comes in, rolls it towards Core JJ, swing and a miss on that one, as FlyQuest has to ponder what their next move could be here. It seems even when they find fights that look good, Liquid is still just a step ahead.
Yeah, and it was TL that was trying to start that fight, and FlyQuest had a good response, but definitely, I mean, it's something you're going to have to be worried about is how you close out that game. So you always have to think about is that will reset, but Turtle still grabs the last hit. So
good there from Turtle.
Not much of a loss there. You can see Santorin, though, a lot of these snowballs mid lane are not really intended to get a kill. It's just to help push out the wave. And then once he pushes out the wave, he gets access to the river. He tries to go over to the river to establish vision control. So that is kind of the strategy that they're using right now. And we'll see if they can continue using that to great effect, because especially when Turtle hits 3 items sitting on that IE, someone like Nunu +1 can definitely take down the Baron.
Oh, yeah.
This guy really shreds through the Baron, giving the attack speed bonus to Turtle, being able to chomp through that with his Q. Makes it pretty short work.
Very tanky jungle for the side of FlyQuest. Xsmithy going for the more AP heavy Gragas build that we've seen in all of recent memory, really. The Runic Echoes plus the Sorcerer's Shoe, Oblivion Orb working towards the Zhonya's Hourglass in for further playmaking to dive in and still be able to keep yourself alive. Looking at the status of Summoner spells as we could potentially go towards the next fight, only Santorin has Flash available on the side of FlyQuest. When you look at Team Liquid, it's Xsmithy and critically Double Lift who have flashes available. So advantage TL when it comes to the summoner spells. Baron also alive now, remember, 25 minutes. Like you already said, it's super easy to 2-man it with a Nunu and an 80 carry, but Team Liquid is also a squad. They've got Kai'Sa. They've got Aatrox in the top lane. This can drop very quickly to them as well.
Yeah, those Rageblade marksmen just absolutely blast through the Baron. Kai'Sa in particular really, really strong at taking it down, but FlyQuest trying to force here around this mid lane, and it looks like their efforts will be rewarded. They should be able to crack this turret, but TL, X-Flash getting channeled.
Xsmithy wants to go over the wall, not going to do it. FlyQuest a little bit too quick to take that one down. Means Team Liquid can't respond in time. FlyQuest shrinking that gold lead back down a little bit further as Impact just pretty much stays posted up here in the bottom lane. He's got TP on the Aatrox. That means he can always get into the fights if he needs to. Unless TL just gets completely jumped on and instantly exploded, he can join.
And this is one of the reasons that TL is so good at establishing gold leads, maintaining gold leads. Yes, they give up the mid lane turret, but FlyQuest has to give up spot lane CS to do that. Impact takes away the Krugs there, which is a lot of gold out of the hands of Santorin there also. So trying to just squeeze out these small advantages as often as you can and really optimize the amount of gold that you are getting. 3 items now for the Kai'Sa though, and that kind of smells like team fight time as the Hurricane comes in. That is really the power spike that most people target, as when Kai'Sa really starts to turn on and becomes such a dominant force in these team fights.
Well, good thing for Team Liquid. There's something spawning on the map that might force a team fight. We got another Elemental Drake showing up. Of course, this time it's Garage Sale. We've got Infernals, we've got Oceans. Throw some Clouds in there, some other stuff we found in the attic. It'll be fine. Not piling up any of those huge bonuses, but remember the way Elemental Drakes work. Now, the first one is weighted more heavily than the others, so it will be nice to get that bonus on the board, unless FlyQuest has something to say about it. But right now, it looks like Double Lift is going to be left to his own devices to solo that one down.
Yeah, this is actually really smart from TL, because FlyQuest was trying to bait that they were going over on the Baron, so TL keeps 4 members around the pit, and only sends Double Lift down to solo out the Dragon. So not giving up full control around the pit, They do have to get some vision back here, though. FlyQuest is laying in wait, but honestly, unless JJ can really find a critical target, I don't think it's worth engaging. And you pretty much have to get Doublelift or Jensen. Those are your only real options at this point.
And both have flash, so it's very difficult to make that happen because, as you mentioned, the Rakan nerfs mean that the maximum range Rakan engage is the one that is nerfed. It's the one that feels significantly slower. And a player like Jensen, a player like Doublelift will be able to reaction flash away from that now. So really risky to do on the side of FlyQuest. You're practically depending on an opponent error in order for it to be successful, which isn't always, and is most likely always not, a winning gambit.
Especially against these top-level teams, right? Where, as you say, you expect them to have the reactions to be able to handle that. That being said, if it is out of vision, that gets a lot tougher to be able to react to, and you cannot see it coming.
Let's talk vision, though. Look at the bottom part of the map. You've got red wards showing up throughout the jungle of FlyQuest, a couple of those being cleared out by Viper down there, but Impact now getting himself into another 1v1 up against the FlyQuest top laner, finds some good damage, then backing away so he doesn't eat the machine gun bullets.
And that's to establish this vision control so that Impact can push. One of the best ways you can help your split pusher is simply by warding for him, so he knows how aggressive he can be. Anytime the jungler is on that quadrant, he will back off. Anytime he is not, he's going to try to push it up, threaten turret damage, draw members down, because it's really about that push and pull, and it feels like that certainly is where TL is committing, and that is establishing a big CS lead for Impact.
Could have a fight going on up here. FlyQuest disengaging that one. Team Liquid, you can see them wanting to pull off the pincer attack, coming around from two separate angles, but not quite quick enough to sink those pincers into anything just yet. Still 9 kills in this game. Kill lead is actually FlyQuest, just one edged out over Team Liquid. Team Liquid still almost 4,000 gold in the lead just from the farming. If you look at how these guys are matching up, though, it's pretty close in both mid lane and AD carry roles. Massive difference in the top laners. Impact up 70 CS over his opponent.
And that really is because constantly Viper is being called to his team. We need you for this. We need you to engage. We need you to check for vision, right? You know, they don't have a lot of tanky members on their team. A lot of people like Mfacek. It's just really Nunu and Urgot. So oftentimes they're pulling him up there to try to get these other jobs done, where Impact is constantly pushing in, farming the Krugs on respawn over and over and over, and establishing a consistent gold lead. So as long as TL can continue this sort of method, you're getting Impact guaranteed leads, right? Farm is the easiest way to get a consistent advantage as long as the rest of your team does not get engaged on.
Scatter the Weak not going to find its way onto Pobelter, but Xmithie goes over the wall. Pobelter having that second dash can get himself away. No problem. LeBlanc's so slippery to manage to actually find a pick on two. If that was anybody else, he's dead, or at least blows the flash, but unfortunately for Liquid, that is the LeBlanc, so nothing gained there, really. The ultimate just about off cooldown there again for Pobelter. FlyQuest walking up towards the brush, almost face checking that one. Santorin taking a little bit of damage. CoreJJ also eating some feathers coming out from Wild Turtle. Pobelter approaching from the side. Xmithie also wants to come around and make the flank. This is where Team Liquid decides it is time to go. Xmithie with the flash into the body slam into a couple of different people. FlyQuest getting themselves away for now. Chain comes out, finds its way onto one enemy for target as JJ's got the initiation onto multiple people here now as well. Jensen grabbing the kill onto JJ to start things off once again. A double kill now over onto Pobelter. Team Liquid makes it 2-0.
Nicely done there by TL. Strong team fighting for them, despite the fact that Pobelter actually was able to avoid both the combo from CoreJJ as well as the barrel follow-up from Xmithie. There's not enough left in the tank for FlyQuest to actually take that fight, and now they're in this rough situation where they don't have vision around the bear, and they have to slowly make their way there. They don't want to give it up, but it's just being burned down.
Biggest snowball just used to get Santorin closer to the pit.
No flash on him.
Baron down to 5,000 HP. If you kill Santorin, you're not in any danger any longer, and Doublelift's gonna make sure he grabs the kill credit. Turtle's gonna explode right after, as Jensen will put the final nails in the coffin too, taking Viper low enough for Doublelift to grab the kill, and Team Liquid mops up the rest of FlyQuest. They'll take the Baron, and what was such a close-looking game before now looks wide open.
Yeah, and you could see Turtle there, head in hands in the player cam, really knowing that was the fight that they couldn't give up. The distortion was used by Pobelter. Body slam flash catches two. They both are able to avoid the CoreJJ combo and everything else, but Santorin is already pretty much out of the fight. JJ gets a pretty nice engage, but when your tank is this low this early, there's not a lot of zoning coming through. Pobelter tries to go back in, look for a play, but he does get burst down. Jensen barely surviving last tick of the Ignite not quite enough to take him down. And then Santorin, no flash. There's no real chance for him to get in, barring a massive TL mistake. So they turn on him, and then a beautiful Q flash from Impact catches Turtle, knocks him down, and Viper gets mopped up as well. They get the delayed ace, they get the Baron, and they are in full control now.
4,100 damage to champions from Jensen in the last fight. Turtle putting up a very impressive 4,600, even though his team lost the fight. But it just was not enough. And now comes into play what I was talking about earlier. Team Liquid is a team that gets things done. When this team has Baron, I expect them to end the game with it based on their performances so far. And now we'll see if they can use this next 2 minutes with that power play that's already at 3,600 gold to knock out that next.
And you can see this three-man squad here. They're trying to catch someone who strays too far away from the rest of the team, and they are looking.
Pobelter, again, not the target that you can typically set those kinds of things up on. However, the scatter of the week phones Santorin away. The turret is just brute force down. That's that decisiveness I'm talking about. That's the call. Bring this thing down. Get the inhibitor. Easy pickup for Team Liquid. They'll allow that minion wave to continue to push itself. They'll rotate towards the bottom lane. Impact's work in bottom has been setting this up the entire time. The wave is always primed and ready.
Yeah, and that was just such a nice play from TL. You have this kind of rotating three-man squad who's waiting in between to see where a vulnerability pops up. Pobelter shows up mid lane, so Smithy just zones him out, and they run up and knock down that turret. And then on the top side, they already had the wave pushing. Come collect that, knocking down this turret as well. This is a really well-timed Baron power play. Really well-timed push on both sides. This wave is going to be crashing around a similar time as you see Impact has the bot lane being pushed in, and Smithy is escorting in those mid lane minions, so pressure coming in on all sides.
Nice stun onto Pobelter, who gets himself away. Team Liquid now 4-man strong, continuing to push onto this turret. It's only got about a third of the HP left. That cannon minion will just continue plinking away at it. Plunk. Oh no, he turned around, he got distracted. What are you doing? Plink. Plonk. All right, it's taken down. Blue turret destroyed. Thanks to Doublelift and the rest of Team Liquid and the MVP cannon minion. They'll take down inhibitor number 2, and number 3 is all that remains as Impact will casually mash over the wall as Team Liquid says, hey, we don't have to go for that one. There's these two. Don't forget about those. As this could be the final fight. Santorin has to go into the stasis here. Immediately going to be taken rather low. Into the back goes JJ, but once again, he's not going to find a whole lot before he has to get away. Shut down credit. Over to Wild Turtle, finding the kill onto Jensen. Looking to find even more now. Goes up into the Feather Storm. Not quite able to find anything else. Xmithy taken low, but not taken down. FlyQuest barely getting the remaining members away. And Team Liquid says second cannot hold a candle to first. And they will retain their leadership of the LCS.
5-0. It was close for most of the game, but one decisive fight into the Baron, into just beautiful Baron pushing on all sides, timing out the waves so that they could crash at the same time. They get so much, and they just close out the game, and that is really, really decisive stuff.
And remember, FlyQuest was the only other team in the league without at least 2 losses. They were the sole possessor of second place. Team Liquid beating them now firmly sets them apart from anyone else in the standings.
Yeah, they are 2 games ahead, as you say. They are clear and away the #1 team, looking very, very dominant, but FlyQuest certainly is no joke. This team was playing TL very, very tight. They certainly had their chances in this one, and I do think, again, they did struggle to find the engages that they wanted, and FlyQuest really has succeeded most when they have lots of different engage options. Today, a lot of that was banned out, as you called out, with Sion off the table, with the Ornn off the table, and despite the fact that they did have the Rakan, they were never really able to make it work, and TL kind of peeled them apart.
And now the question continues that we've been asking since before the season started. Honestly, how do you beat this Team Liquid squad?
Well, I think we saw some of the pieces to that puzzle, right? We saw that TL was challenged, that it was played close for a long time. It really did just come down to superior team fighting, I think, from TL in that one decisive fight. But, you know, they can be beaten, I think. They did not look invulnerable in this game, but they are an extremely strong, well-rounded team. Their laning is good. They farmed better. They team fight better. They're extremely coordinated, and they're clearly the #1 team in North America for a reason.
Team Liquid are very, very scary right now. And to give us a breakdown of the victory over FlyQuest, let's hand it back over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you, Captain Flowers. FlyQuest handing TL their toughest test yet. Team Liquid, they passed, though, with flying covers remaining. the #1 team in the league and moving to 5-0. Azale kind of rattled off some of the accolades there for TL in the victory of, hey, farming numbers were still great. Didn't get knocked down too bad in the early game and were able to execute in the team fights to come away with the victory. But contrast to game 1 of the day, much more standard compositions this time around. So we really kind of got to see some of the strengths and weaknesses of the teams, the way they work together, or even the individuals as players and stacking up in the lane phase this time around.
I'm bored. What the? Why don't we do something cool? Yeah. I mean, the coolest thing is...
You were spoiled at the last game with the Zillion, no CS, Chase Jungle.
This is okay, cool things about this draft for me. Skill matchup in the mid lane, Pobelter versus Jensen, the guy who they replaced you with. That was cool to see, and I think Pobelter did do a pretty good job. As well as for me, JJ on something that's not Ornn and Braum. I thought he had an okay game on Rakan, but not as impactful as we've seen core JJ be.
Yeah, I mean, they also, Nunu is a fairly slow engage. They slowed down Rakan a lot, and they kind of touched on it a little bit there. Their more go-to hard engage options weren't really there for FlyQuest, so it's the pieces that they have been using were not, available in this matchup. And Team Liquid, I would highlight not only their macro to get Impact CS, but Impact's individual play as well on the Aatrox was a huge part of that, and it felt like that was able to shine later in the game because both teams focused so heavily on bottom lane with all their early jungle pressure.
Right. Early game was definitely centered around the bot lane. Lots of visitation from both squads. FlyQuest getting the better of the skirmishes, coming out with a couple extra kills over Team Liquid. But to Azale's point, the CS numbers were, in favor of Team Liquid. And so we hit that mid-game state, relatively even gold, and at that point, it really comes down to the execution within the team fights, and that's where it seemed Team Liquid was still a step ahead or a step above FlyQuest.
Right, and it's not like FlyQuest was making big mistakes either, good flash out of the combo from Gragas, they had time. Pobelter unfortunately gets chunked out, and so when JJ goes in for a potential re-engage, Pobelter was forced back, so they couldn't combo those two engage tools together. And then here, everyone else is already forced too low. And there were a number of fights like that where it was kind of close, but Team Liquid always seemed to play them a little bit better.
I mean, this is one of those games where you're like, that's why everybody's investing in the Team Liquid stock.
Yeah, everyone wants one.
In our stock game, you got to get a little piece because this is kind of the expected route for games for them, right?
Right.
They focus on double lift. Late game, they're able to carry it through pushing through the side lanes, then they group up, they win their team fight, boom, they get Baron.
And that gold graph, to me, is a perfect example of what makes a great team or a league-leading team, right? As soon as they got that one fight necessary in the mid lane to then grab the Baron as an advantage, it does not take them long to curtail that into an even more massive gold lead and ultimately close the game.
I mean, we're going to complain about the draft from game 1 being cool and this one not. At the same time, game 1, the fact that 100 Thieves couldn't close that game out and they made those Baron mistakes, the exact opposite for Team Liquid, where it's great, we want to fight, game's over.
Right.
As soon as it's 25 minutes, game win, mid lane, over.
But now, by the same token, I do want to talk about FlyQuest and the showing that they put up today, because I think in coming into this week, there was so much talk around TL already as hey, is this the 18-0 squad? Who's going to actually challenge them? And while there was some indication that, hey, if things go really well or really, swimmingly for FlyQuest, they can come away with a victory, most people would have put this matchup heavily in TL's favor. And they did play them close up to that 25, 30-minute mark.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think FlyQuest are proving themselves as being that top-tier team, where a lot of people are hesitant, even after their strong start, to be like, yes, they're definitely one of the top teams. I think that they have done enough already to prove that. For this one, while I do think Nunu is a strong jungle champion, in the meta right now, Santorin really, to me, has been shining when he has a little bit more power behind playmaking for champions, and so maybe that's something they look to shake up as well.
I agree with that for a personal level for Santorin as well as against Team Liquid. You probably want a little bit more explosiveness and playmaking.
All right, well, it could have happened today. Not quite, though. TL remains undefeated here in the Spring Split. To keep up to date on the LCS, though, check out the refreshed homepage for all things LoL Esports at riot.com/LCS. Find the newest episode of This or That with Kobe and the Cap. Log into the Watch platform to earn some in-game content and purchase tickets for your next LCS experience through the new website. All of that is available to you at riot.com/LCS. We're going to step away when we return. It's TSM versus Cloud9.
Not